All right, everybody. Welcome to one of our first episodes here of the Pharmacy Technology Podcast. And I got a guest today. His name is Doniyor Sattarov. He's the VP of Operations of a couple companies. RX for Route is one, RX to Go is the other, and there's some other company he would like to talk about towards the end. But to kick it off, Doniyor, you want to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Doniyor Sattarov, and I'm the VP of RX for Rock.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time today on this busy Monday. I really appreciate it. Let's just jump right into this. So, just for a little background here, the purpose of this podcast is to talk about technology that's emerging and being used in the independent pharmacy space and how it's helping independent pharmacies succeed and thrive. And one of the first guests we have here is a company that's very integral to getting patients their medication. And towards the end of this, interested to know a little bit more about their company and the results they're seeing and how they're helping pharmacies. But first, let's get into some problems. So, talking about industry trends, independent pharmacies, they're struggling right now. They're facing a lot of problems. What do you see as the biggest problems they're facing right now?
One of the biggest problems that pharmacies nowadays are facing is trying to manage everything themselves. What do I see from my perspective is mostly pharmacies are not open to any changes. They very tend to stay old school. They don't want to learn about new technologies, what's available out there to make their pharmacy's life a lot more easier. And being in that more closed mind, closed door pharmacy wouldn't really get you far.
So, how are patients viewing that? So, I know pharmacies are experienced some problems there. And patients, are they demanding anything different from their independent pharmacies? Typically, it was just, hey, I'm going to call in, get a refill, and go pick it up. Are things changing from your side? Are you seeing things differently?
Yeah, absolutely. Nowadays, I see that many patients are requesting something that wasn't really in there 5, 10 years ago. Nowadays, patients aren't just there for their medications and for availability, but now they just want more unique setup or unique relationship to them. One of the examples is obviously is a delivery, right? So nowadays, it is very common to get your meds delivered. And this is exactly what patients are in trend now to get it, as well as an additional features of, pharmacies started building their app so they can see the refills, requesting the refills. Everything is electronic now. So obviously the patient's expectations are a lot more complex than what it was 5 to 10 years ago due to everything coming in now, everything new.
Yeah, so kind of like Uber. In the past we had taxis, and now people are accustomed to just getting a ride wherever they're at, just like that, getting food delivered straight to them. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a very high bar because you got the consumer bar of on demand everything. Now you move to the pharmacy world. Pharmacy has got to catch up to that because it's consumer protection, like the perception of where healthcare should be is healthcare is so far removed from the actual consumer life cycle right now. And the pharmacy, it seems to slowly be catching up. I know with us, we build phone systems, basically phones and IVRs, and then ways to meet the patient where they're at and help them refill prescriptions and check the status of their prescriptions and just general questions. And it shocks me that there's a lot of pharmacies out there that still don't use an IVR. Like they just answer the phone manually. And, it's when you're small enough, you can do that. But when you get these larger pharmacies, you have to start leveraging technology because it's just, you don't have enough people there. They don't
Absolutely.
have enough hours in the day.
Absolutely.
So I know we kind of talked about the role of technology in the pharmacy world. Do you see any pharmacies, any independent pharmacies, or comparing independent to the bigger chain pharmacies? Do you seeing technology starting to separate pharmacies, like the ones who adopt it from the ones who are getting left behind?
With technology, it really simplifies everything, right? Whatever the technology might be. It's like not using an iPhone in 2025, right? You could also, yeah, you could use the flip phone, but checking the emails, calling someone, or doing anything is just a lot more complex. Same thing with the pharmacies that adopted the new technology separates from the pharmacies that that tend to stay old school. At the end of the day, we want it or not, young people come in, right? It's the process. It's always in there, right? The right now, especially now with what I see, most of the pharmacy owners being a little bit too old and new faces, younger faces I start seeing as pharmacy owners. They adopt technology very fast, and this is what really gets them up front.
Are you seeing the adoption of technology primarily for helping out with their expenses, like reducing expenses, or is it a revenue opportunity for them? So now they can, potentially add on new products to a delivery or something. Do you see any thought process around there?
I think
All right. I got a question. This is a kind of off topic, but it's something that came up today. So I've heard that there's a company, not going to name a name, but it's a delivery app or it's an app that helps pharmacies deliver medications. They used to charge pharmacies per delivery, but now they are actually paying pharmacies per delivery. I'm assuming this is coming from like a marketing channel from pharmaceutical companies. Now, could you speak any to that, or do you want to? Like, this is something I'm trying to research right now, figuring it out.
Uh, of course. So nowadays, the advertisement is so in there. This is a new specific niche, especially for the wholesalers, especially for the drug manufacturers, that they are now ready to pay in order to advertise to the patients. And
Mm.
the app that you just spoke about, what it does is right at the end, once the patient finishes ordering their prescription, their delivery, they get to see a small little video, and through that video, that app gets paid.
Mm.
So that's how it works.
That's interesting. Are pharmacies like that, or do patient? Or have you been hearing any feedback from that?
I've been hearing a lot of feedback. They grew. I know this company. They grew a lot. I know at the last conference they threw a yacht party, so I could assume they're doing very well for a 3 4 year old.
Yeah, that was it came on my radar today, and I was doing a little research. I was like, I got the perfect guy to ask about that. Very interesting there. So we kind of hit on one of these questions, but lessons learned that like independent pharmacies, they're learning from other entities, like consumer, B2C companies, such we already mentioned Uber, such as Uber Eats, Uber Delivery, and everything like that. Is there any other lesson that independent pharmacies can take from the rest of the consumer tech world? You see any trend there?
I see the. I think the only lesson that they could learn.
Go ahead.
I think the only lesson they could learn is be open minded on the technology that's out there.
Mm.
Obviously, as I've mentioned earlier, most of them are old school, but I start seeing a lot of new faces. Obviously, it's life, new people coming in, new owners,
Mhm.
younger faces, and I see that due to that change, most of the pharmacies start growing lots more faster.
Do you see, I mean, I know there's statistics out there. Independent pharmacies are kind of about break even, some of them, doing better than others. Are you seeing a consolidation trend with independent pharmacies where the groups are getting bigger and having more success and the small mom and pop pharmacies, these small community pharmacies, like they're really struggling? Are you starting to see that divide? Because I am.
Absolutely, absolutely, obviously. And there's a point to that with the groups, once you're in a chain, not even a chain, once you're with the groups with the other pharmacies as well, not only you can get a better cost on the pharmacies by ordering the medications in bulk, but as well as sharing new ideas, sharing any of your experiences with any other vendors that help pharmacies as well. I'm sure there's a lot of groups, there's a lot of feedback about the Voxel calling system, how it helped a lot of pharmacies as well, and that's the only way to actually learn and to be in there.
That is right. So more trends looking at pharmacies and patients adopting the stuff they're used to in the consumer world. As far as communication goes, do you see any different trends in communication other than voice is always going to be there? People are always going to call, but text messages. Are you seeing any new interest in leveraging text messaging, both inbound and outbound, as a way to generate more revenue or really just to streamline their operations?
There is. Also now I know many pharmacies, they use something that's called a mass text messaging. Once the new product comes in or a new medication, or they can sort out any of the patients that have, let's say, as an example, you, Brennan, let's say you've been taking antibiotics, right? And obviously, after taking a course of antibiotics, it's pretty, it's pretty common for a person to start taking probiotics to get everything in checked, right? To get everything in
Hmm.
balance. And so, what I've seen pharmacies do is they would mass text message to all the patients that they've had antibiotics for the past 60 days, advertising their probiotics now. So this way, instead of calling, they could also upsell just by simply sending a text message. You could easily generate huge amount of revenue from there as well.
Do you guys do that?
Of course,
Yeah, interesting.
I think that's something that's available on Voxo as well, right? Text
Yeah,
messaging.
yeah, yeah. But as far as like adding to your order, let's just say, antibiotics are going out for delivery, and that patient might get a text message saying, "All right, your antibiotics are about to be shipped, about to be out for delivery. Would you like to add anything to that order?" Do y'all do that? Do y'all have that capability?
Yes. In our app, we have a capability to connect to an existing phone system. Once we're connected, we could pretty much customize the text messages as well.
Oh, nice. I got a lot of questions about that. We'll move on to there later. So future outlook in the independent pharmacy space. So if you could just zoom out and fast forward to 2030, what do you think that the average independent pharmacy is going to look like? Kind of walk through, like, a patient walks in there, like, what is it going to function like?
I think being that it's 2025 now, I don't think in 2030 something is going to change tremendously, to be honest. I think 2040, 2050, that's when you would see a huge change where there might not be even pharmacies existing. Because at the end of the day, if before pharmacies were demanding a human touch, a relationship, an ability to talk and chat with the front desk agent, right? That care that comes from pharmacies. Nowadays, I think their demand has switched due to people have switched as well. Right now, it's a younger generation. They don't even want to talk to anyone. They just want to get their medication and be out, right? So I think this is the way most of the pharmacies will switch towards. And being that we currently have cashier-less stores like Walmart, being that we have an Amazon stores where you can just literally walk in, walk out without even checking out, and the funds will automatically be deducted from your bank account. Given that we have that, I think by 2040, 2050, this is something that we most likely will see in the pharmacy world as well.
Yeah, 2040, I can definitely see that. I think it's going to be sooner than that. From my perspective, share my little vision of 2030. I do think automation, AI tools, I mean, voice AI, just workflow automation. I think the capability to automate most of the independent pharmacies is probably going to be there probably about 2030, 2032.
I think 5 years.
I think so. I think the biggest barrier though is going to be regulation to allow that. The capability is going to be there, but the regulation and then the actual adoption. I think if you flip the switch right now with a lot of the tools we have right now with AI development, make no more progression, just stop it where it's at. It will still take 10 years to fully roll it out everywhere. Just because like the bureaucratic bloat just takes a long time. These large organizations really get the tools adopted. So I think this isn't coming directly from me. Like I've talked with a lot of pharmacy owners, just talking about like what they envision pharmacy automation to be, and based on their vision, that's kind of where they want it. Unfortunately, like that's where they need it to be profitable, and that's the reality of it. Is like, man, we kind of have to downsize a little bit because it's a big driver of their expenses. Is you know the labor. And for the most part, like people will move on and transition to more strategic roles in the pharmacy world, but a lot of it can be automated. A lot of behind the counter stuff.
To a lot of open-minded pharmacy owners. In my opinion, most of them are very close-minded. Most of them are very old school and not really open to any new changes or technology.
Oh, you're right. I'm talking to about 10%. The other ones, they're exactly like that. But I think just being aware of what's coming and these leading pharmacists out there that are like, all right, we want to survive. We want to be an independent pharmacy. We want to help our patients in the area, in the community. They have to adopt new tools to really to stay in business. And that's the reality. So
Absolutely.
work in progress. So that's the point of this podcast too, is to get the ideas of technology out there to help people think a little bit differently and explore new avenues for growth. Okay, let's go to the last one on future outlook here. If you could give one piece of advice to any independent pharmacy owner that's listening right now, what would that be?
Uh, I think my piece of advice would be to be open to any changes and to any new technology. At the end of the day, like it or not, the world is moving towards opening something new towards the technologies. And the worst thing that you could do for yourself, for your patients, for your pharmacy is to really be closed-minded, right? And I'm not saying if any platform is good, any software is good, any software is bad. It's just to have an ability to think outside of the box and to be open to try something new.
That's
I
good
think
advice. Yeah. All right, Daniel. Well, let's move on to the companies you're working in here. So we got RX for Route, RX to Go, and you mentioned another one. I'm going to give you the floor here to talk about those companies and the technology y'all are using in that, and just give me a rundown on how it's actually helping independent pharmacies. And if you have any stats, share those, 'cause I know our listeners really would like to hear some of those.
Of course. So just a little bit about us. We've been in business for over 10 years now. We started as an RX to go, which is a courier company, and we still deliver medications on daily basis. We did around 15 to 20,000 deliveries per day. And in the meanwhile, while we were as a courier company, we developed our own app for ourselves to make the deliveries. And most of the pharmacies were asking us to share our app with them. And we had this brilliant idea of, wow, okay, so we've developed an app that could be available for pharmacy owners now, right? And in the meanwhile, one of the other clients also asked to have our outsourced call center be available for them. This is where the pharma staff came in, where pharmacies could now get a full-time pharmacy technicians for as low as $2,000 per month, right? Fully trained. And that's how we've came up with our extra route and pharma staff.
Interesting. So pharma staff, explain that to me. Like, are these licensed pharmacy technicians, or what is their role? What do they do for pharmacies?
Sure. They are capable of doing everything that there is to do remotely, starting with data entry, insurance verifications, prior authorizations, answering phone calls, unbound, inbound, doing pretty much all the administrative work that could be done remotely. Instead of uh, instead of uh, instead of hiring someone in house, right, for whatever $4, 5, 6 thousand dollars a month at least, training them in person, putting the ad, conducting the interviews, managing them, and then for how long, and then hoping that person will work forever. You could basically switch to pharma staff where you know that that person is trained, you know that this is something that you will have on daily basis. And even if the person decides to leave from pharma staff, they'll be replaced right away with another person that's capable of doing the same job, right? Which is obviously it's a huge savings, as well as the work-wise, everything gets done much more efficient.
Yeah. So how much is this, or let's just say if an independent pharmacy owner is listening right now, how much does service cost?
$2,000 per month for a full-time employee. Nothing in addition. We have it's a month to months agreement. You're not tied up to anything. Doesn't get better than this.
I'm looking at the website now. This is interesting. It's kind of like, I know they changed the name, but it was Shepherd, where you could have a digital assistant. They changed it to now you have a digital, like a pharmacy tech. This is interesting. So what's the out of these three companies here, which one is experiencing the most growth?
Obviously, the pharma staff, because at the end of the day, I think one thing that combines all the pharmacy owners is the love that they have of saving the money.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. All right. Out of these services, I'm seeing all basically like different jobs, different
Mhm.
roles or responsibilities. What's the biggest one? Like the biggest need that pharmacies have they really want to outsource?
Obviously, is the prescription entry and refills, which is data entry.
Okay. Interesting. What is prior authorization second?
I would say yes.
And probably communication with insurance and doctor's offices.
Yeah.
Probably tied in with prior auths too. Pretty interesting there. Now let's hop over to RX to go. This is a very interesting looking website. So kind of walk me through this is delivery. So a patient, let's just say we got a pharmacy right down the road. Pharmacy, like Magnolia Pharmacy. Uh let's just say RX for route or RX to go is tied in with our phone systems. When a patient gets a prescription refilled and they say, I want this delivered. So we make a phone call and say, hey, Miss Susie, your medication is it's filled. Would you like it to be delivered? Or it's about to be delivered. Would you like to add anything to the order or something like that? Or a text message. I know y'all do the same thing, but what we're doing now, we make that phone call. We don't necessarily send the text message. If we're working together, and would the text message come from RX to go? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
There's different ways
Mhm.
we could set her up. We could set her up as a text message would come from pharmacy line.
Mhm. Okay. And what are the capabilities there? So patient gets a text message. Can they text back? Is it like you're talking with an AI agent? Like how exactly does that communication work?
Sure. So once patients gets a text message, there would be a small link for a patient to choose from any of the options. So once that link is opened, patient will see all the information about themselves, the drug that they are getting, and a date to schedule the delivery as well as the timing if available. And from there on, they could either choose the best time and date to deliver, or if they would like to cancel or reschedule or do any changes, they could do that in there as well.
Okay. And those changes, does that get pushed back to, let's just say Pioneer RX or whatever the pharmacy management system does? Okay. Very interesting. How does this product differ from other vendors out there?
Sure. With RX to go, compared to all the other different courier companies, delivery companies, is that we have the technology and capability of serving patients at the highest standard. And what I mean by the highest standard is obviously delivery is delivery, you could think, right? But at the end of the day, it's very nice for a person to get a text message before the delivery to track the
Mhm.
driver, just like an Uber Eats or DoorDash, especially when you're waiting for food, checking 10th time, oh, where's my food is at. Same thing with the medications, right? It is in there, as well as an ability to, after the delivery, see where exactly your packages was delivered and who was it left by, right? So all those useful features would be available for you, as well as for the drivers. Most of the courier companies, they really tend to go with the most cost effective option when it comes to the drivers, and then attend overpaying or paying twice. With us, we go with the drivers that we know are capable of doing that job.
All right. Very interesting. So I'm looking at the service area here. Is this just up in this area here? Oh, I can zoom out a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay.
We're getting there.
All right. Taking a lot of ground. Going to the hot spots. So we're right here. I think it'd be a while before you don't get over here.
I think 2026, we should see each other.
Okay. Come on. That's good stuff. We actually just had a message from one of our AEs asking about this, like asking about if we integrate with any delivery companies.
Mhm.
He's like, "Is
Wow.
this coming down in the pipeline?" Question mark. So depending on where they're at, I will. I'll find out. So I want to hop over here. You got RX for route too. So you mentioned this, and I'm sharing the screen here for all the listeners who are just listening to audio only. So this is how does this differ? Help me understand. How does it differ from what I was just looking at?
With RX for route, if pharmacies are using their own drivers for
Mhm.
any reasons that might be either for PBM contracts, either that they thought it might be a little more efficient pricing wise, they are able to use our system, our software, to manage their own drivers. And the key difference between us, our software, and any other software that you might think to use is that we use our software on a daily basis. There's not a single company, and I was shocked, by the way, there's not a single company in the United States for medication delivery that uses their own software on a daily basis.
Drinking your own Kool-Aid. That's the best way to test. That's the best way to make the best app.
Yep.
Use it every day. Iterate on it. Very impressive. Where y'all based out of?
We are based out of New Jersey, South Brunswick, but we are nationwide. Our software is available for any pharmacies in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico.
All right, this is impressive. All right, Doniyor, well, is there anything else you want to talk about here with these companies, with your companies?
Uh, I think that's pretty much all.
All right.
I think that's more than enough.
Okay. Well, if we got any pharmacy owners out there listening and they like what you're saying, they want to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
They can either go onto their website and book a demo directly, and I was pretty impressed as well by other companies that most of the times when you are trying to reach them, when you're basically telling them, hey, I want to get started, take my money, let's get started, you have to either request a call back, wait on the line to get connected, write an email. With us, you simply go into our website, you book an available date and time that's available for you. And on that meeting, we can set you up right away. Right? We have meetings for us soon as within an hours, right? We are a team of 50 people of sales reps, and I'm sure at least few of them is available now. So it's pretty straightforward.
I love it. I know I just signed up for requesting more information from some click wrap agreement software, and that was like 3 weeks ago. I just got an email this morning. Like, hey, you want to set up a time? Like, oh man, that ship has sailed.
Exactly.
All right, good deal, Daniel. Well, hey, I appreciate your time today, and I thank you for all the information you shared. And hopefully, our listeners got some helpful nuggets out of this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brandon.
All right, take care. See you. See you in about 3 weeks at NCPA.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
All right.